Okay, welcome to Quick Connect. Today is November 24th. We are doing our final Quick Connect of the month, and we'd like to welcome you to joining us today on this last Quick Connect of November. So today we're going to be talking with neighborhood champions, and neighborhood champions are the organizations that support small businesses in the effort of shop small, getting that message out in their communities. So we're going to be talking to a variety of neighborhood champions from around our area, and we're just going to learn about what they're doing in each of their towns, and so that we can support the small businesses and participate in those in that programming. So just before we get started, I'd like to remind you that this event is being recorded. We do ask that you participate. If you're up for it, you can ask questions of the panelists. You can also make comments in the Facebook stream or in the Zoom. So we'd love to hear from you and to hear any ideas you have as well. So before we begin, I'd like to tell you a little bit about the Small Business Development Center. The Small Business Development Center is located at Penn State University. We are a network of actually 16 centers across the state. But at Penn State, we really specialize in consulting, training, information, resources, and referrals for small businesses. So if you're a small business joining us today and you'd like to get connected with some free resources, whether it be one-on-one consulting or training or any of these other services, I'll put some information up at the end of the chat, but you can always find our information on our Facebook page as well, so that you can join us and participate in any of our programming. So that's a little bit about the Small Business Development Center. My name is Elizabeth Hay, and I'm one of the business consultants at the SBDC. As we begin, I'm going to invite our first panelist on today. We have Gina from downtown Bellefonte. Gina, do you want to go ahead and join us on, and we can get started with our talk today? How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, good. I know you're gearing up for a really busy Saturday coming up here in just a couple days. But before we learn more about that, what you're doing in Bellefonte, can you tell us a little bit about your role in downtown Bellefonte and what you guys do?
Yeah, well, Downtown Bellefonte Inc. is an economic revitalization Main Street program. We're nationally accredited, and we work with the Pennsylvania Downtown Center to provide resources for economic revitalization in Bellefonte, downtown Bellefonte, and also to provide resources and be a support network for the local businesses here. So, and I am new-ish as of January 2020, so.
Yeah, well, welcome. And I know you've been doing a lot of work out there in Bellefonte, so we appreciate everything you're doing, and I know the businesses do as well. So I know you're new, but can you tell a little bit in the past, how has Small Business Saturday impacted the businesses around Bellefonte, and how do you foresee it impacting the businesses this year?
Yeah, Small Business Saturday, it's a big deal for our local businesses here, because it's a sort of a nationally recognized retail event that focuses solely on them. So even in this current climate of uncertainty and where we are taking safety precautions, it's still important, I think, for especially our local businesses to come out and show your support for them during Small Business Saturday. So it's a chance for them to maybe do a special promotion or have a sale or showcase a product that they really want to get out there and let people know is available.
Absolutely. And I think that's what we are trying to do as neighborhood champions, is just help get the word out more this year than most years, because the small businesses did have to take a huge hit by shutting down during the pandemic, and that was a huge hit. So this is an opportunity for the community to support those businesses and help them kind of make up that lost revenue. So important.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what exactly do you have going on in Bellefonte this Saturday?
Yeah, well, This Saturday, technically Friday for Black Friday, kicks off our Shop Small Crawl, which is an event that we're doing that spans over the course of 3 weeks. And it's an opportunity for people to come out and support small businesses and enter a chance to win some gift cards to local businesses so they can shop for the holidays. So on starting Friday, and then obviously continuing on Small Business Saturday until December 18th, people can go to buy a tote, and I have one. Well, I have one in the background, and then here's a larger one. So these are totes. They're available for $5, and that supports our nonprofit. And they can pick those up at Bell Mercantile, Axeman Brewery, Confords, Bonfados, and at Springboard here in downtown Bellefonte. And then once they pick that up, they can go around and shop at the participating businesses, which you can see them on here. We also have information on our website about who's participating. And when you shop at those stores, you get a little pin. And each pin has their logo. They're super adorable. And then you fill up your tote with the pins, and then you can enter to win gift cards to the downtown businesses. It's over $600 worth of gift cards. So
wow,
yeah.
That sounds really fun. And are you doing any outdoor? I think I heard a photo booth.
Yeah, unfortunately, we have DBI was planning on doing a tent on Saturday. We have decided to cancel that per the new mitigation efforts that have come out yesterday. We just felt like it wasn't appropriate to have that tent, and so I do believe the photo booth as well is canceled. But two other entities that are scheduled to be there, and I haven't heard yet otherwise, are TNT Events is planning on doing just a little pop-up where they'll be selling hot cocoa and some baked goods and hot cider downtown. And also the Central PA Tasting Trail was planning on being also in the park to sell some of their merchandise and their lovely passports that you can buy to travel around to the different local beverage establishments to get your stamp for your passport. So
yeah, well, that just kind of speaks to this year constantly having to pivot around what's going on with COVID.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about how the businesses in Bellefonte have been affected by COVID?
Yeah. Well, certainly it's been hard on them. I mean, I think that's a given. I will say, despite it being hard on them, I have been completely impressed at how they have pivoted, how they've persevered, how they've really stepped up to face this pandemic kind of head on and say, we're not giving up, we're here, we're going to stay. And it's been really inspiring to see that. And I don't know if people are aware, but we've actually had about a dozen businesses start businesses and start shops in downtown Bellefonte since 2020. So in some ways, we had a couple businesses closed due to the pandemic, which is always very sad. But it's kind of been really cool to see that we've had lots of businesses open in 2020, despite everything that's going on. And I think that speaks to people's wanting to support local. They want to support the small businesses. These are people's friends, their family, their neighbors. These are people that this is their livelihood, and it's very important to them. And I guess one of the positives of the pandemic, it's hard to think of positives, is that there has been this focus on local, and I'm really happy about that. Of course, that's a default for me and for many others, but it's nice to see that awareness kind of come out of this very tragic situation. So,
yeah, I think that's really a great point. There are some successes to be celebrated. Yeah. Amazingly, I have some clients that actually started businesses in Bellefonte, and probably one of those dozen, a couple of those dozen, and I know my colleagues as well, And to see them, hang on with their vision and just pull through has been really great to see. I know that small business owners are some of the most resilient folks through this entire pandemic, and we're really happy to see them pulling through.
Yeah.
So what can the community do to better support these businesses, especially during this time of the year?
Mm-hmm. I think, there are plenty of options. I know that some people are very concerned about coming out and shopping in person. And so I would like to let them know that there are options. There's many small businesses in Bellefonte that have online shopping options. They have local delivery options. They have curbside pickup. Some of them even have private shopping events. So you can call and you can schedule an appointment to do your own private shopping. So like I said before, the businesses are really trying to accommodate those that are concerned about coming out for safety reasons, which is totally understandable. But I would just encourage people to shop local, obviously. But I think when you're thinking about like little gifts or things that you need, instead of maybe immediately clicking that link to go to Amazon, maybe just think, well, is there a business downtown that has this item that I want or that I need? And chances are they do. We have such a variety of businesses in our downtown and lots of downtowns with their businesses that you can get everything that you need.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I talked to the small businesses last week in the showcase as well, and Elizabeth Hay, who has our a la carte,
Right.
Was telling us that if you don't know what you need to buy, just call her and she'll pick out gifts for you.
Yeah.
There's so many small business owners there that really know their products so well, and I think just having that conversation with a small business owner, they could probably help you find a gift if you're a bit stuck. So,
Right.
so that's also a great thing that I know she's doing. Okay, my final question is more of a personal question. Why do you shop local?
I shop local because I love the personalized experience. I am a people person through and through, and I love going into stores and having a conversation with the owners or the managers or the employees, and also getting there, like you just said, from what Elizabeth said, getting ideas for gifts, because I'm not always great at that. And it's nice to just say, hey, here's what I'm looking for. What can you help me with? And for me, I love to make that personal connection. And I know that my money that I spend locally stays locally, and it helps our economy. And that means a lot to me. And the downtown Bellefonte means a lot to me. So
yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Thank
you. If you wouldn't mind sticking around at the end, I'll bring everybody back on for some rapid fire questions.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
So thank you again. And I'm going to call our next guest from Juniata River Valley Chamber of Commerce, Rhonda. Hi, Rhonda. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, welcome. Before we get into a little bit of what you're doing, and you're doing something different in your area this year because you saw the need being a bit different, but let's talk about what you do and what your role is, and a little bit about the Juniata Valley Chamber.
Sure. I'm the executive director of the Juniata River Valley Chamber of Commerce. Our coverage area is actually Mifflin and Juniata County. I've been with the chamber for 16 years, the last 3 in the executive director role. So love what I do, love my community, and I'm very honored to be in this position.
Great. And I know that we talked a little bit about this before, but how is Small Business Saturday impacted your community in the past?
It's definitely a wonderful opportunity to showcase our small businesses and just shed that light on them. And just as a reminder to the community how important our small businesses are, I feel like our small businesses are what give our communities personality. It's what makes us different than everyone else. You have your chain stores that are kind of all the same, which have their place as well. But our small businesses are the ones that are unique and make us different and just bring us together. It's amazing to see how much wheeling, dealing, and business is done inside these small businesses, the connection that happens. It's just kind of like those central locations where the community come together. So I think it's just a wonderful opportunity to take that time to shed that light on them, especially entering the holiday shopping season.
Absolutely. That's such a great description of why supporting our small businesses is so important because as you said, it's what makes the towns unique. And so maybe this year is a good year to get out and explore what makes these different towns unique, but to do it safely. So can you tell us a little bit about your campaign?
Sure. I just want to just explain how this campaign came to be. I found that in our area, our numbers are actually surging with COVID. We're a small community. Our county, Mifflin County, is like 42,000 people, and we actually had 400 cases in 6 days in recently. So we've kind of seen this surge, and I'm seeing fatigue in our small businesses who are requiring mask wearing. There's been some community pushback or apathy, and I saw this. Our small business is becoming tired and weary and needing some support from the community. So we came up with this marketing campaign just to support our small businesses, to let them know, hey, we're behind you. And this is one way we can help our businesses stay in business, is to stop the spread of COVID by wearing masks. So we actually partnered with Geisinger and came up with this, there's no place like local for the holidays, to encourage mask wearing. And we partnered with a local restaurant who has already purchased electronic billboard space. He's actually giving us electronic billboard space. So that graphic has already been sent off to be displayed that way. And then we're using local once again. We have a Printworks company locally that is taking our these logos and doing, this is actually the mask that you're looking at right now. I think there's another graphic as well showing it actually on a mask. There you go.
Oh, that's nice.
These masks we're ordering hundreds. They're going to be distributed to retail, also to restaurants that are wearing masks continually, just as a reminder. Hey, come on, let's mask up. And we want to keep our small businesses open. Plus, it's whimsical. It's kind of cheerful and holiday-esque. So kind of a non-confrontational way to say, come on, guys, let's wear our masks so we can keep our small businesses open. And we're also doing, I think there's another graphic coming up that shows we're doing stickers that will be located in small business locations and restaurant locations where they can just kind of stick them on bags as the bag goes out the door, or the pizza box as it goes out the door. Just to remind people, please wear your mask. That's the best way that we can support our small businesses, so there isn't mandatory closure, so they can stay open. That's what they want. They want to stay open. They want to be there to serve their customers, and let's do our part by masking up. And we do have a hashtag attached, which is Mask Up JRV, which is Juniata River Valley. So everything that we're posting, we're adding that hashtag. So we kind of felt like this year, this was the best way. Instead of promoting a day, we're kicking this off in conjunction with small business Saturday, but we're encouraging, let's think long-term. Let's think, we want our businesses to stay open. Let's do our part.
That's really, really smart. And I think that's a great campaign. I've actually myself bought an ornament for the Christmas tree that has the toilet paper roll in 2020, because there is, some significance to this year. And just to say, let's just embrace it and have, this cute logo with a mask on to remember this, but also embrace it and come together as a community. I think that's great. So what a fun campaign. So can you talk a little bit about how the pandemic has affected your small businesses?
Sure. Just to kind of piggyback on what Gina said, they have done an amazing job with looking for other ways and just being ingenuitive. A lot of them have gone online that were not before. so that you can now purchase their products online. They've done, perhaps they don't feel safe with having people dine indoors, but maybe they've adapted to go, that they can actually take their product and take it out the door that way. So they've honestly done a wonderful job at looking for other ways to stay in business, and some of them have done really well, quite well. Um, but as I said, I think the most difficult thing for them right now is just they're getting tired, and they're getting some pushback from the community when they're requiring mask wearing. So I think it's really important for us to just support them, like, hey, you're doing the right thing. We're proud of you. Um, just kind of, I just walked into one of our small businesses yesterday, um, walked out with 2 shopping bags full of things that I could have ordered online, but I did not. I shopped local. And she literally was in tears when I arrived because she had just asked a prospective customer, oh, you'll have to wear a mask. And she didn't get a great reply from the lady, who just then turned on her heels and went out the door. And this business owner was literally in tears. So I think they're kind of really showing fatigue at this point and need our support more than ever.
Yeah, that's hard to have to choose between a paying customer and safety. And that's a hard place to put a small business owner in, especially this time of year when they've put so much into just staying open. So what a great campaign that you've put together. So you did mention that you shop local. Can you put a little meaning behind that? Why is that so important to you? Why do you shop local?
Absolutely. Definitely, as I spoke before, I believe that they are the very things that make us unique and different. I too, as Gina said, love the personal aspect. I like walking into my coffee shop and they already have started my drink because they know what I like. I like walking into the corner cafe and they already know what type of barbecue sauce I eat on my pork sandwich. So I think it's that personal touch, or walking in and saying, hey, I hear, you have a new grandchild. How are things going? That's very important to me. Even if I have to pay more for a good or a product, I will do that because I love that personal interaction. I think it's so very important. Plus the fact those are the people that support your children's ball teams. They're the ones that are giving your kids their first job. They are the ones in the community that are supporting each other. So I feel that's just super important. And I just wouldn't ever want to lose a single one of them. So I think it's just important to keep that. And as I said, those are the gathering spots. That's where you get your information in the morning. That's where you see your neighbor, as you're getting coffee side by side. Or yesterday, as I said, when I was shopping at a local store, a little local store, she thanked me numerous times. Thank you so much for coming here. Thank you so much for shopping here. They truly, truly appreciate it.
Yes, yeah, that's a great wrap up. Thank you so much. If you don't mind, can you stick around towards the end? We're going to come back together and do some rapid fire questions. But I'm going to welcome our next guest now, and thank you again.
Absolutely.
Sure. So next up we have Leanne Jeffries from Downtown State College, or Downtown Improvement District. Welcome, Leanne. How are you doing today?
Thank you. I'm doing well. Thank you for having me today.
Yeah, no, this is such a great talk, and I'm glad that we can really talk to these neighborhood champions that are encouraging the support of small businesses this year. Can you start out by telling us a little bit about Downtown State College, what you guys do, and a little bit about your role with the organization?
Sure. My role is Marketing and Communications Director for the Downtown State College Improvement District. I've been in my role for a little over 2.5 years now. I love what I do downtown, really engaging with our businesses and our community and bringing them together. Our role as a business improvement district is really to support those businesses by promoting events downtown, sharing social media posts, marketing the downtown as a vibrant and fun place to be. And with Small Business Saturday, it's really about spreading the word and sharing what each business is doing for the event and creating some buzz on Facebook, cross promotion, and distributing all the fun swag that we have to them.
Yeah, no, I've actually, we got to talk to a business from your area last week on Quick Connect, and his own perspective was that every Saturday should be Small Business Saturday, because it's really important that we understand that small businesses do need the support, particularly this year. Can you talk a little bit about how in the past it has impacted the small businesses?
Yeah, absolutely. And whoever you spoke to stole my entire message for today. No, it really is for us. Small Business Saturday has always acted, as a reminder of the importance of shopping locally. The day after Black Friday, which is primarily the big box store events. And in the past, we've had, a good turnout of people that, they might offer a discount or a BOGO or a gift with purchase, maybe even, some refreshments. It's never gained the traction that I always wanted it to. And I think that's because it is one day, right? And the holiday season is so filled with people trying to get things done. And it's a blip on the radar, I think, in a lot of people's minds. So, this year is a little bit more challenging for our businesses to offer a discount for Small Business Saturday. They've already, their revenue has been stagnant. So in my mind, it is, it's thinking and shopping locally first before anything else. And that needs to be Small Business Saturday and every day if we want these small local businesses, to continue.
Absolutely. That's the point. And it was Douglas Albert who had joined us last week. And he had some good points that it's more about the focus on shopping local.
Mm-hmm.
So can you talk a little bit about what you have going on down in downtown State College this year, as far as SBS and just for the community to look forward to?
Yeah, so we'll be doing, what we normally do. We've created a Facebook event where you can go on downtown State College and you can see the specific events that individual businesses will be working on for Saturday. So they are some discounts or some gift with purchase. There's some refreshments and things like that. But we're also thinking outside the box this year, obviously, because we've had to do that, and really bringing into play the idea of every day this holiday season, let's support local. So we're really excited. We launched on Friday, Light Up Downtown, which is, we've got a couple different things going on, but it starts on Fraser Street with a timed lighting display, which is fabulous. It's about an 8-minute rotation. So you can come, watch the lights, they're timed to music, and then they kind of rotate through. It's a wonderful display, and people are really starting to show up and enjoy it and talk about it. So that's very exciting. We wanted to also, with this event, bring in some community engagement. We obviously don't want people driving by a light show. We want them to park and we want them to walk and create kind of a walking tour. So you can park on Fraser Street. Free parking starts tomorrow, and that goes all the way through January on the streets and in the garage. So you can also head down to Locust Lane. We've got a nonprofit tree decorating challenge. We invited nonprofits to come decorate a tree to be able to, kind of explain their mission to people, and also, kind of enjoy a fun contest. The winner will receive $1,000. So if you come downtown, stop by Locust Lane on your walking tour of the lights, and come at night because they're really quite beautiful. And I love what all the nonprofits have done because they've really taken what their mission is and kind of created the tree. You scan a QR code, you vote on your favorite. And we thought that would be a great way to bring people downtown. The ultimate goal is for them to spend money downtown. So if we can get them walking around and engaging in these kind of activities, we thought it would be a great way to enjoy the holidays, bring a little more light and cheer downtown, and then help our businesses in that way. There's a lot of fun things going on in the first couple weekends in December too. We're gonna layer into that with a free trolley ride downtown to the 2 different lighting locations. We obviously have our tree on Allen Street that we always light. We're going to do some free gift wrapping stations and hot cocoa. And then we even have an art walk mixed in there the first weekend of December. So we're really layering in a lot of fun to bring the community down and engage them at the same time, you know, encouraging shopping local.
Nice. Yeah, well, it sounds like you have a lot going on. How many, roughly, maybe you don't know this off the top of your head, how many trees do you have up downtown for the nonprofits?
10.
10.
Yeah, we have
Okay.
10. We probably could have added more. We had a lot of interest in this project. So next year, maybe we can grow that.
Yeah.
We were very fortunate to get the Faith United Church on Locust Lane to kind of give us their yard, and it's already a beautiful space with a beautiful backdrop. So we're calling it the Enchanted Forest, and it's
Nice.
really quite nice. We have a couple photo booth murals in that location and Fraser Street where you can come get a picture with your family and hashtag light up downtown.
Very nice. Yeah, I've seen some of the images of some of the trees in my Facebook feed, so I'm looking forward to checking that out for sure. And we've also actually had on this show Eric Stoner, who I think is doing the light show for you. And I know that lots of people have driven by he used to do it at his home. So I know a lot of people have actually really enjoyed his light show. So if you remember the drive-by light show at Eric's home, this is the same thing, but downtown this year, right?
Yes, he really did an amazing job, and we're just very, very impressed with it. So excited that it stays up too. It's going to stay up till the new year. So people have time to come down and enjoy it.
Yes, and that's another thing that I've been thinking about with these small business events is that not everybody has to rush out on Small Business Saturday, correct? Because they're being spread out more,
Right.
more throughout the entire shopping holiday season. Just to shift gears slightly, could you tell us a little bit about how COVID has affected your businesses downtown? What have you seen?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, listening to Gina and Rhonda, there's so many common threads that run through these downtowns, but there's also so many differences. And I think as hard as the pandemic has been on businesses across the country and small towns across the country, small college towns like ours have really particularly been hit hard. Our merchants, they rely on events such as graduation and arts festival and obviously football season to really make their year financially. Penn State is our economic driver. And with the majority of classes online and remote employees and virtually no visitors, downtown is a ghost town. And I think part of our message to the community is people that are fearful of the safety aspect. Our businesses are doing an amazing job masking. We have an ordinance in downtown State College where it's required even if you're outside. And people are complying in this area. So there's also this vision of like, oh, you know, we've got the virus all around us. Really, there's no one here. Even when Penn State classes were in session, they were online. You know, people are working from home that work for Penn State. So I think there's a misconception there, and it is safe. I've been coming downtown since I've not left this office since the shutdown. I've been eating and shopping, and it is very safe. But with dealing with that, I think our message to the community is as well, we can provide that safe shopping experience downtown. And it may look different for everyone. You can come shop in person. You can take advantage of curbside pickup or ordering online. Many of our businesses have an e-commerce online as well. But I would just encourage people to call the business you want to shop at. If you're not comfortable, I guarantee you these small local businesses will do whatever it takes, you know, whether that's bringing it to your house or offering that curbside pickup. Even if they're not advertising, just call, because they want to work with you, and you know, they need to, and they need your business.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I do agree that just picking up the phone and calling these small businesses is a great opportunity to support them in ways that you may not realize are even available, such as, you know, when Elizabeth Hay from Bellefonte told us the other day that she was willing to put up a few gifts in front of you and say, hey, choose which one you think this person would like. These are based on what you told me. These are what I I would suggest. And I think a lot of business owners would be willing to do that because they are the experts in their products.
Right.
So just to finish up a little bit here, could you just tell me why you shop local?
Yeah, I mean, obviously with my role, I really see the impacts positively for shopping local. And I've created relationships with these people and I understand their struggles. And that's, obviously in my role here. But as just a regular State College local and resident, I shop local because so many of our cornerstone businesses have been here. They've been here for 40, 50. We even have 100-year-old businesses here, which is crazy to think about. We did a campaign this summer called the Heart of Happy Valley. And we were challenged to feature some of those businesses that have been around for a long time. And when we started looking at naming and listing all of them, we were up to like 30 different businesses that have been here that long. And that's phenomenal. And so I want them to celebrate more anniversaries, right? They're what make our town special. So that's why I shop local.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think also, bringing programs like this, we started doing a showcase once a month through Quick Connect to showcase businesses, because it's really, once you start talking to the business owners and hearing their stories and understanding their personal reasons and why they're opening the businesses, the more you want to support them. So I think, for people like myself and you that are in these positions where we're constantly making those personal connections, it begins to be a no-brainer to support those local businesses. So hopefully we can inspire the community to do that as well.
That's the goal.
Yeah. So, well, thank you, and stick around. I'm going to finish up with some rapid fire questions, if you don't mind. I'm going to bring our final guest on now, who's actually also my colleague, Tom Kiefer at the Penn State Small Business Development Center, but he has another role. Welcome, Tom. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I know. I see you often, but not in person. We see each other through Zoom a lot. But we understand that you have another role outside of the Penn State SBDC. Could you tell us a little bit about what you do and in what area, neighborhood champion you represent?
Sure. So I am a board member at Downtown Lockhaven, Inc. And basically what Downtown Lockhaven, Inc. is a nonprofit organization that really focuses on the community and businesses in general. They hold different events throughout the year, such as Best of Clinton County, Small Business Saturday, and Haven Holidays. And they also have a couple different committees, such as the Economic Restructuring Committee, Design Committee, Promotion Committee, and the Merchants Committee that really focus on different aspects of the community as a whole.
Yeah, I know you're busy in supporting the Lockhaven area. I've heard a lot of just side stories about what's going on with Downtown Lockhaven, Inc. Sounds like such a great organization. Could you start out by telling us a little bit about Small Business Saturdays in the past in Downtown Lockhaven?
Sure. So this will be our 4th Small Business Saturday. And it basically all started because we saw the American Express was offering the marketing materials. And so we went ahead, we signed up as a neighborhood champion, we received our box. And then the manager and I went just up and down Main Street. We just communicated with the business owners to kind of gain their interest in having the event. And during the process, we got promotions from them. So we kind of made it so it was like a Black Friday just for small businesses. So the first year we might have had 10 to 15 businesses that were interested. We had the local radio station get involved. They did a live broadcast from the Downtown Lockhaven office. We handed out the shopping bags and a list of promotions going on that day. And the event was very successful. So we built off that the second year. We had about 20 to 25 businesses that were interested the second year. We hit on some of those businesses that might not have actually been open on Saturdays in the past. And we were kind of surprised that there's quite a few that actually did stay open for Small Business Saturday the second year. But with that, I mean, we had a horrible ice storm. So the first couple hours of the day went really, really smooth. And then once that ice storm hit, I mean, that was the end of it. I mean, there's roads being closed down. There's accidents all over the place. I actually got stuck at the office for like 4 to 5 hours. I couldn't even go anywhere. But we saw there's major potential. So we used that to our advantage. So the third year we went out, we talked to the merchants again. We actually expanded our coverage area a little bit, hit some of the side streets, because the first couple of years we really just focused on Main Street. So the second year or the third year, we probably had about 30 businesses that were interested. And again, we just did special promotions for that day. We had the radio station come back. They did the live broadcast, which was nice because we actually got a couple people on Interstate 80 that were traveling from Thanksgiving. So
Oh, nice.
there's a couple people that we definitely want to have had in Lock Haven if it wasn't for the promotions. So, I mean, the third year, it was amazing. I had several businesses afterwards contact me and said it was the best day of sales they ever had. So,
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
that's a huge success.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's for. And you've actually told me this is your favorite event of the year. So I know you really enjoy it, and you can tell with your passion behind the event that that helps it make a success. But this year has been a different kind of challenge. We've had to do things differently. So you guys have been working on setting up a different type of event. Can you tell me a little bit about what your Small Business Saturday event looks like in Lock Haven this year?
Sure, absolutely. So early on, it was probably mid-September, we started noticing that some of the big box stores were trying to spread out the holiday season this year. So instead of focusing on Black Friday and your late Thanksgiving deals, they're more or less having different events throughout the year, or throughout the shopping season, rather. So we decided that we were going to do something similar. So instead of just having a Small Business Saturday, we are having Small Business Saturdays, and we're celebrating the event every Saturday from now until Christmas. So there's 4 Saturdays in total. Each Saturday, the businesses that are participating are going to be offering different promotions, and we're going to be pushing them out through the different media outlets and Facebook. And we're going to have the downtown Lock Haven office open to also hand out a list of different promotions that are going on that day, along with a map of where those businesses are located. Because one thing that we have noticed is we typically had additional people in Lock Haven that were just traveling and didn't really know where the businesses were located. So the map's certainly going to help with that aspect. Another thing we're doing is we have a couple small events planned with social distancing in mind. So we have a wood carving demonstration that is going to be held outside, that there's plentiful room for social distancing. And then we also have our tree lighting ceremony, which again, that's going to be held outside as well. We are working on a passport, but at the last minute, we decided to kind of go away from the paper model, and we're trying to do electronically. So I don't have all the details on that yet, but it's kind of crunch time, but we'll get it figured out, and it'll definitely be ready for Small Business Saturdays.
Nice, nice. I know you've been planning a lot of different things down in Lock Haven. It's so good to hear. And I've actually talked to a few of the businesses from there, and they are excited about it as well. I've actually followed, I think it is what it is on Facebook now. They do a weekly live stream, like shopping live stream. They have some creative ways that they've pivoted during COVID, and they're really fun to watch. So they were just talking about it last weekend. And so speaking of the way businesses have pivoted, we've seen a lot of businesses really hit by COVID. Can you talk a little bit about what you've seen in your area with the small businesses and
Sure.
how they've been hit by COVID?
Absolutely. I'm starting to see a lot of businesses, especially restaurants, offering delivery where they might not have in the past. There's a couple businesses that have made websites so that they can do more e-commerce. A lot of them are offering curbside pickup, so if people don't actually want to go into the stores. But the one thing that, I mean, we have a strong front is that you must wear a mask when you're shopping downtown.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an absolute must. And you have to think about it from the business owner's perspective on that too. I mean, if they got sick and maybe they don't have any employees, maybe it's just them. If they get sick, I mean, there's no one there to run their store for them. They're going to lose out on the busiest time of year, and they need it. A lot of businesses are struggling. So, I mean, if it's not for your sake, just think about that business owner. I mean, they're there supporting their families. So do it for them.
Absolutely. Yes, that's been, I think, a common theme that we've seen in all the, from all the neighborhood champions that, you know, we need to do it safely, but we need to still engage in supporting our small businesses so they don't have to choose between a paying customer and staying safe. So what can the community do this year to better support small businesses during this time?
Well, when you're going out and shopping local, and if you plan on eating afterwards, instead of going home and cooking a meal, Why don't you order some takeout from your local restaurant? I think that'd be a great way to support some of the local restaurants. You might not even have to go in and actually eat at the restaurant itself. You can just take it home with you. Another way I highly recommend people doing is just sharing your experiences on social media. If you get a cool product from a local business, don't be afraid to post about it. Tell them about the product, tell them where you actually received the product, and any good experiences in general. Any exposure for small businesses is always a plus.
Yeah, absolutely. That is so true. Well, let's finish up, and I'll ask you to stick around after this last question for a couple more questions. But why do you shop local?
Well, I think I'm just going to sound like a broken record here, but I mean, it's the personal experience. I mean, when you start shopping local, people remember you. So anytime you go out, you make new friends, and it's just an opportunity to get out and socialize, and it's fun. I mean, most of all, it's fun. I mean, it's great just walking up and down a sidewalk and popping in and seeing some of your friends.
It is, and I think that's true. It's all about the community that we can begin to gather around the small businesses. I think that's kind of a theme that I'm seeing with all the neighborhood champion representatives here. So, well, thank you so much. It's great to learn about what you're doing in downtown Lockhaven. And I know you have a lot of experience as a business consultant too, that you get to talk to the business owners, not only as a neighborhood champion, but throughout the whole year, right? So let's bring back on all our neighborhood champions. Rhonda from Juniata River Valley Chamber of Commerce, Gina Thompson from downtown Bellefonte, and Leanne Jeffries from Downtown Improvement District State College. Thank you guys so much. It was so nice to hear each of you talk so passionately about the areas that you represent. And so I think that was just a really great representation of what you're doing for small businesses, not just now, but year round. So thank you. So I'm going to move into our rapid fire questions. And these are questions that I ask all our guests on Quick Connect. It's really a great way for people to get to know our guests a little bit better, but also just to kind of make a personal touch. So let's start with Gina. If the audience walked away from today's session with one key takeaway, what would you want it to be?
Just to support local and to do it safely, wear a mask, protect the businesses, protect each other, and support local.
Absolutely. And I have a feeling this might be a common theme between everybody. We're kind of all in the same agreement that this was an important takeaway from today. Do any of you have a different takeaway from today other than support local that you'd like to share?
I do. I think it's important for our community to know and to make the decision, first of all, to spend their dollars in their town where they can make a difference. But know what your town has to offer in terms of products and services. I mean, I guarantee you it's more than you thought. And many people don't know what's around the corner. I think it's because we all get stuck in spending habits. Mm-hmm. So maybe think outside the box and think differently than you normally would this holiday season.
That's a great one. I think that's really a key tip is to, not to look inside your community and actually learn what is there. I think having all of you on, I'm curious to look into your communities as well and learn what's going on in Juniata River Valley and explore Bellefonte a little bit more. 12 new businesses is a great opportunity to learn about what's there. So great point. All right, this next question is probably going to be one that everybody's going to have a different answer to, but let's start with Rhonda. What is your favorite local business and why, or business experience?
As the head of the chamber, it's really hard to do this because the majority of my members are small businesses, but yes. I would say I can answer the most frequented. I literally walk across the street from my apartment and I'm at East End Coffee. So I would say I'm a absolute regular customer. Their first year in business, they were able to look at their records and I was like I was there the most of any customer. So I would say that is probably my most frequented small business would be East End Coffee Co.
Nice. And I actually got a chance to talk with them last week and learn more about their business. And I'm hoping to get down there sometime soon. So
they're awesome.
Yeah, thank you for that. How about you, Gina? Do you have a local business in Bellefonte? I know this is probably hard for each of you to answer, and I don't want to put you on the spot. So if you want to kind of tell us just about a business that you recently had an experience or something like that in.
Yeah, it's like saying like, who's your favorite kid? You know, I mean, I love them all. Yeah, I mean, truly, I love them all. You know, I will say that I one place that I really loved going because it's unique. There's no other place like it. Is Big Spring Spirits to get, you know, a handcrafted cocktail. And Megan McCracken from Nomad Kitchen makes the most amazing hummus, and it's addictive. She must put something in there that just keeps you coming back because it's just the greatest thing I've ever tasted. So I love going there, and everyone's super friendly, and I go enough that, you know, they know me there. So
nice. Yeah. I think that it's all the different businesses put together when you come to think about it that we really enjoy about our communities. How about you, Tom? Do you have a small business out in Lockhaven that you really enjoy?
I'm gonna sound really plain here, but I'm gonna say all of them. I mean, they're all great. They're special in each and every way. I mean, the business owners themselves just have so much personality, and I just couldn't possibly pick one.
Very well answered. Very well answered. Thank you, Tom. All right, Leanne, I'll put you on the spot with this one. Do you have a favorite small business?
Same reaction. It is like choosing a child. I agree with Gina. I have so many favorites, and for so many different reasons. And it has to do with the customer service, and it has to do with, I mean, I frequent these businesses, and there are days I walk in and say, how did I not see this last time? There are so many treasures. And that's why I say, know what your town has to offer. I'm not going to pick one because I love them all, but I do think the takeaway here is just, you know, show up, call the business, look online, but there's so much that these towns have to offer.
Yeah, that's a great way to answer that question as well. Let's finish up with our last rapid fire question, and I'll start with Tom. Can you describe your favorite small business experience?
So this actually happened quite a few years ago, but there was a small community that they had a flood, and they were cleaning up the flood, and the business owner worked extremely hard to get the business back open and get inspected. And what they did was, before they even opened the business up to the public, they started making food for emergency responders. And they took it to the radio station, because the radio station was a live broadcast 24/7 during the flood too. So they really took care of all the emergency workers and everyone that was helping clean up the flood before they even thought about trying to make money.
That's great. That's really nice. Thank you for sharing that. How about Gina? Do you have a favorite small business experience?
I just, in general, my experiences are just the personal connection when I go in and shop and talk to the small businesses. There was a moment earlier a couple months ago where the owners from the Cakery and Buy a Thread Boutique, which is a new store that just opened up last week, they did a joint Facebook Live announcement about their stores. The Cakery had outgrown its space and stayed in downtown Bellefonte, but moved. And then Buy a Thread Boutique was opening up in the old Cakery location. And it was super cute. And, you know, it was great to see these women make that announcement. And it was clear their joy and excitement about the new businesses. So that was cool.
That's fun. Yeah, it's one of the things that we talk a lot with our small business owners as they're starting, is developing those partnerships and friendships within those towns and communities, and how important those can be. And it sounds like that was a great success for these two small businesses.
Definitely.
Thanks for sharing that. All right, Leanne, do you have a favorite small business experience?
I do, and mine is kind of along the same lines as Tom. During the pandemic and the shutdown, we really had businesses step up and offer something back to the community. And we had that in the corner room. They were giving away meals, lunches to whoever needed them. They would put out a table, put out bags, no questions asked. If you needed a meal, you could stop by and get that. The Webster's bookstore and cafe still continues every Wednesday to offer a community meal. They're wonderful, gluten-free, all homemade meals. And, you know, you can purchase them if you have the means to do so. But they're also no questions asked. If you need a meal, you come get a meal for free. And other restaurants and businesses have jumped onto that as well. And that really just goes to show you how community minded our small local businesses are, and another great reason, you know, to support them this holiday season.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot with guests that come on, and we're not always focused on local small businesses when we chat because the topics are variety, but it's always it's not always, but a lot of times the focus to answer this question is how the business had given back to their community. And I think if you're listening to this talk, or if you're thinking about starting a small business or you are a small business, you know, making sure that you weave in some type of giving back to your community is also an important part of being a small business owner, especially in a downtown area. Rhonda, you want to close us up with your favorite small business experience?
Sure. Mine is kind of completely different, a different direction, but I have adult children who all have moved away from the area. And at Christmas time, I'm always asking, hey, what do you guys want for Christmas? And I was really proud of them because they wanted local items from local businesses in Lewistown. They love their hometown. They love to support their hometown. And, you know, I was running around yesterday picking up some of the things they wanted from our local businesses. So that makes my heart feel good that they still have a heart for their community and want to support small business, even though they're not located here. So that was very moving to me. And it was to my business owners too. When I was picking up things yesterday, they really were appreciative of the fact that my children were supporting them, even though far away.
Yeah, no, I see that. It's almost a part of your childhood, these businesses. As Leanne said, there's some businesses that have been there for hundreds of years, and we have people who have moved away from State College that still come back and want to visit these businesses that have been a part of the town. So I think that, you know, just right now, even families can start to, shopping local can start to breed that in their own children. So that's a great point. I do have another question that actually came in the chat. If you guys have a moment, is there some experience about just change from your local shopping to e-shopping? What about coffee shops in this point? So, you know, is there a way, I think the question is asking is, can you still shop local but online and get that experience?
Absolutely. I know I mentioned East End Coffee, and I know they roast their own coffee and it is available. They sell online, they sell their products online. So, and that was new through this pandemic. It was something they came up with. I actually was sheltering in place in Mechanicsburg due to a set of circumstances with a family member, and we would order East End Coffee. So yes, absolutely. I know our local coffee shop has gone that they sell online.
Yeah, I think I've seen that with a few different small businesses, and even though they are still going online, they're starting to weave in those personal touches, you know. So even if you're buying online, they're still writing those personal notes, or they're still marking the top of your coffee cup with a message or whatever it might be. Anybody else see anything with the change to e-shopping or e-commerce?
Just, just to reiterate, just that it's there, it seems to be more present than before. I know that a lot of the Bellefonte businesses that weren't previously online during the pandemic, they learned how to do e-commerce and they got their merchandise online. They would do Facebook Live where they might sell merchandise and, you know, doing online ordering. And so that's always an option. Like Leanne said, just call the business that you're interested in and they'll help you because they want to help. you know.
Absolutely. Great point. Well, thank you all so much for joining us and telling us about your neighborhoods and all the great things that you offer. I know I'm inspired to check out some of your local finds out there. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. I've dropped all your information into the chat on Facebook and on in the Zoom chat. So they can look into what you guys are doing by finding your web pages. So thank you again. I'm going to go ahead and finish us up with just a little more information about the SBDC. The SBDC is actually a neighborhood champion too. We are part of Penn State University, and we are working remote with our children walking behind us in the house. But we are actually doing a small business Saturday storefront competition. So basically, if you'd like to participate in your small business, you can do that by snapping a photo of your storefront and tagging it either on Facebook or Instagram with the hashtag PSU Small Business Saturday. And we will be offering a consulting package to the top business. We'll also be featuring on social media the top 5 businesses coming up next week. So we look forward to that. If you want more information, you can find that information on our social media pages and through our business consultants. So I can give you more information about that here. We are actually working remote, as I said, so you can find us on the web, sbdc.psu.edu. You can get in contact with a small business consultant who will work with you for free one-on-one and talk to you about all the issues that you need assistance with about your small business. We kind of know a little bit about everything, and if we can't get the answers for you, we find other people within our network who can. You can also call us at 814-863-4293. We can get you in touch with what you need. But the best way to get in touch with us is through social media, because we have a great amount of information being shared there. Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, we're on all those pages. Next week on Quick Connect, we do this every week. And next week at noon on Tuesday, the 1st of December, we'll be talking about social media. So we talked a little bit about selling online today. We'll be teaching our small businesses with some experts about how to sell on social media, from marketing to marketplace. So join us next week, and we'll be working our small businesses through that. So I'd like to thank our guests again, Tom, Rhonda, Gina, and Leanne. Thank you so much for joining us and all the information. It was such a great talk today. So I really appreciate your time. And thank you to our guests who are listening. And we will see you next week on Quick Connect. And we'll also see you shopping, hopefully throughout the month.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.